Hello everybody, this is Kysen here, and today I'm going to show you a very simple design for a creeper farm. Now, if you just want to skip ahead to the farm building, I'll put a timestamp down in the comments, but I'm just going to go through a few of the game mechanics to make this farm possible, and the reason for that is because it will allow you to make any minor tweaks you want to make if you want to change your farm slightly from the design that I'll show you, which is going to be this one up here behind us. Now, also, I do want to mention that I do have a more complex creeper farm. You can see that one right there. There is a video tutorial of that on my channel. If you guys want a link to that, that will be down in the video description. Also, this world is up for download, so this will help you obviously with the simple farm or the complex farm, whichever one you want to do. The download link will be down in the description if you guys want that. Okay, getting into a few of the mechanics here. If we hold F3 and press B, then we get the hitboxes of different mobs here, just like this. Now you can see here the height of a creeper, as opposed to, say, a witch, a zombie, or a skeleton. Now, because creepers will fit in this gap here, which is basically you got a block, and then where the next block would be is a trapdoor, but none of these mobs here would. That is how we're able to manipulate a mob farm design so that only creepers will spawn. Now, you might be asking about baby zombies, but the way the game works is it does look for if there's enough room for a normal zombie to spawn, and then on a random chance will spawn a baby zombie, so we're all covered there. However, you may also be thinking about spiders, and as far as spiders go, they need a 3x3x2 area to spawn in. So the way we can stop them from spawning is by simply placing a carpet in every 3x3 area, and that'll ensure no spiders then spawn in there. So essentially, this is the design we can use right here. So what I'm going to do is just very quickly go /time set to midnight. So we're going to have it very dark here, and if we wait just a few moments, creepers will start spawning under there. It is a little bit affected from the creeper farms I have nearby, but there you go. You can see already we've got a couple that have spawned in there, and nothing else will spawn. So it's basically using that game mechanic on a bit of a larger scale up here that allows us to have a farm just for creepers. So just going to go /time set noon. Once again, have it nice and light so you guys can see the tutorial a little bit better. And we're going to have a look up here. So basically, if I grab myself a creeper here like this, and we put the creeper in like that, it will fall. And actually, we can take these hitboxes off for this. And you'll see that it is currently alive, but it is a one-hit kill. So basically, that is a 23 block drop, as I've listed here. Now, if I were to flick this lever again and place the creeper in, it means the creeper will fall to its death. So there's two different ways of having the collection of the creeper drops. If you want to just let them fall and die, so it's essentially completely automatic, then you need the 24 block drop, and you can see that the gunpowder has dropped. However, if you want to kill them yourself because you want to get the experience or use your looting sword or whatever, then it does need to be one higher at a 23 block drop. So some options for you there depending on which way you want to go and whatever suits your needs. Now, this here is for the complex design, so you needn't worry too much about that. Essentially, I was just showing that creepers will run away from ocelots. It does, however, demonstrate another point, which is when you have trapdoors like this that are next to each other here, the creepers will see them as they are right now, i.e. both open and making a little bridge to run across. So if they're running away from an ocelot or whatever else, they'll think they can run across it, but then they will, of course, fall. Now, both the complex design over here and the simple design that we're looking at today both exploit this mechanism of behavior from mobs. So that is, although it's technically used in the complex one, because the complex one needs ocelots, whereas the simple one doesn't, that is the mechanic that we're looking at today. So that is about it in terms of the mechanics that this farm is going to use. That's pretty much everything you guys need to know. So now let's go and have a look at the mob farm design, I should say, in action. So guys, this right here is the simple creeper farm design, and it's all boxed off, of course, to make sure it's dark in there, but we'll pop in just a second and have a look at that. What we can see from the outside is here's where the creepers fall down in this tunnel right here and fall to their death or to a one-hit kill, again, depending on how high you make this drop. Now, if we just pop inside a second, you'll see here the platforms that we have. You can build as few or as many of these as you want. Now, at the moment, I've given myself a night vision potion, which is why it's all lit up in here. Of course, it would be pitch black if not, but it wouldn't be as easy for you guys to see what's going on. You can see on our platforms here, we have the carpets in place. That prevents any spiders spawning. We have trapdoors along the roof so that only creepers can spawn, and we have these trapdoors here like this, which creepers think they can run across. And what this farm exploits is basically the fact that creepers will randomly run off of these thinking they can walk across. They'll fall into these water streams and be put into the kill chambers just there. So because of that, that's why it is less efficient than the design we have over this way, which is basically forcing the creepers to run off using ocelots. Of course, the difficulty is you've got the extra resources of the ocelots, which you have to get into the farm. Now, I do think that this design right here is going to be good enough to get you enough drops in your survival world for most people. If you're not needing tons and tons and tons of gunpowder, this is going to get a lot. So if you're AFK in here, you're going to get thousands of gunpowder from AFK in here in no time at all. So realistically, for your elytras and stuff, it's probably going to be enough. But anyway, let's just go down here a second. Okay, we're down underneath the farm now, and what I wanted to do is just talk about this mechanism right here. So you can see here the creepers fall down and die, and their drops go into this chest right here. This is just from before, don't worry about this, you will just get creepers with this design, don't stress. But essentially what we have here is a system whereby we can toggle whether or not the creepers fall immediately to their death, or whether they fall to a one-hit kill. So essentially when I flick this lever here, the creepers would be stopped there, and because we have slabs here, we can easily kill them underneath here. Their drops will collect there, we flick the lever, the drops will fall down, flick it again, and there we go, the creepers will start falling here again. So this is if you want to turn this into a farm that gets you XP, or if you maybe want to use your looting sword to get more drops. So essentially you can see here I've just run redstone around like this into some sticky pistons which have blocks on them, and of course when they push those blocks across they make the drop shorter. So again, we want this to be 23 blocks from here up to where they're falling from to make them sort of still alive, and then if we get rid of that they'll fall further and of course will fall to their death. So this is something you can use on any of your mob farms if you have a skeleton spawner or something, to toggle whether or not you get XP from the farm. So it's a useful little mechanism, very simple to build as you can see here. It should be pretty self-explanatory just from the visuals that I'm giving you. If you need any help on that, please do leave me a comment and I'll let you know. But that's enough about that. Let's get into now how we actually build this farm. Okay, so the first thing we're going to think about is where exactly we want our drops to collect and where we want our kill chamber to be. So you can see here the kill chamber is a 2x2 area just like that, and the hoppers funnel into this chest right here, this double chest right here. You can of course put other chests underneath with hoppers going into that if you want to increase the amount of storage you've got for the system. Really depends on how much you think you're going to use this thing, and obviously how many layers you do and stuff as well. But once you've got this kind of sorted out as to where it is that you want it, the next thing we need to do is build up our kill chamber. So for the purpose of this design, I'm going to assume that we want them to fall to their death. So you can see right here, the hoppers, which are just underneath this carpet, are at Y level of 9. So if we're going to add on 24 blocks to 9, we're going to get up to 33. So that's the minimum level that I need to be at in order for them to fall to their death. So we're going to go all the way up here, and this does not need to be built out of glass. I'm just doing it so you guys can see what's happening. I do think it looks nice to kind of see them falling, but having said that, you can do that out of whatever block that you want to do. Then what we're going to do is we're going to need our trays to be built. This is where the water carries the creepers into the center so that they fall to their death. So basically here on the 24th block, so for us that's Y33 as you can see, we're going to place the color of block that we want for the tray. So again, this could be anything. This could be wood or stone or anything that you like. We do, of course, need to do this the whole way around for the kill chamber, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back and look at how we build the trays from there. Okay, so you'll then have something that looks a little bit like this, and the next thing to do is to come off from the edges here and build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You want to do that along here as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Connect those up, and then fill this bit in right here. So you've built one arm coming off like this. We're going to do that in the other 3 directions in just a second, so essentially coming off in these directions here, like this. And then also we need to build the layers up a little bit as well. So we're going to build up 1, 2, 3 like that, and we're going to fill in the perimeters here as well, going off like this. So we need to build all of that up. I'm going to do that off camera just a second, and then I'll show you what it will look like once you have completed that. So you'll then have a structure that is looking just like this right here. And these are going to be the 4 trays where the creepers will walk into and be shunted down into the middle there. So the next thing that we want to do is make the perimeter of this design. Now, just so I'm copying that design right there, I'm going to keep doing what I did before, which is alternating black and yellow. Now, the reason that I do that is I find it's probably going to help you guys when it comes to making the tutorial, or following the tutorial, I should say, at home, because it gives you an easier way of counting blocks and things like that. You can make this out of anything that you want, any solid block that you want, so don't feel like you have to make it any sort of fancy design or use concrete or anything like that. You could just make this entire thing out of cobble if you wanted to. So I'm going to go ahead and put the perimeters on, and then we'll come back and look at how we're going to actually make the platforms where the creepers will spawn. Okay, so with your perimeter in place, you'll see I've gone ahead and filled in the middle bits on all of the 4 sides. Just use terracotta here. Again, feel free to use any solid block that you like. So the next thing that we're going to want to do is put a bit of a roof on this thing. So what you want to do is build up 1, 2, and 3, just like that. And essentially, this right here is the roof for this platform, but it's also the start of the next platform where creepers will spawn up above. So we will follow the outline of this exactly, just like this. So we'll build along here, 1, 2, and 3 there as well, and come along like this to make our ceiling. So yeah, basically the roof of one level and the platform of the next. And then we're going to go ahead and fill all of that in, which I'll do right now. Okay, so with that filled in, we just need to add a little layer going around here like this. Now again, I'm using different colors just so you guys are able to differentiate the different parts of the design, but you guys can use whatever you like. The creepers can, of course, spawn on these blocks right here, so that's why we need the roof right there to have the trapdoors. Otherwise, we get skeletons and things like that spawning in here. And the other thing you want to do is build up your walls. Again, I'm going to be using the concrete to do so, but if you're just making this out of cobble or something, just go ahead and build the walls up just like that. Alrighty, so with the walls built up, you'll then have something that looks a little bit like this. So then we just need to get in here, and we need to place trapdoors on each of the blocks here that is the roof, going right out to the edge here like this. Again, this will stop anything other than creepers from spawning, which of course is the whole point of this farm, to be as efficient as possible as just a creeper farm. Once all of the trapdoors are in place, you're going to want to place your carpet to make sure that no spiders can spawn. So the orientation of that, we're going to place 1 here, and then every 2 over like this, 1, 2, and here, 1, 2, and here, and so on like this. You're going to need 9 carpet for each one of these platforms, basically. So if I go ahead and place it up here, then I can give you guys an aerial view, and you can see exactly where the carpet needs to go, just so there's no confusion. So if I fly up here, there you go, guys. That's where the carpet needs to go. That'll make sure no spiders spawn in here, which is very important. The final thing to complete this particular section is to place trapdoors and shut them all along this side here like this, and all along this side here like this. So what we're going to do is, once we've done that on all of the sides, you'll of course have trapdoors going along here like this, if I can place them, and along here like this. So the creepers will think they can walk between the platforms, and they'll try their best to do that, but they will of course fall to their death. Now at this stage we can, if we want, add in the water buckets. So we just need 2 water here like this, 2 water here, and we're just going to do that in each of the 4 of them. And if you've done it correctly, you'll see that the water stops right at the edge there, so it will carry the creepers right to the edge, and then they will of course fall down. So once you have one of the corners in place, you of course want to go ahead and place the next corner. So be sure to start over here and leave that 2 wide gap, because along here is where of course the trapdoors are going to go for the creepers from the next level to fall down into the water streams. So you're going to do that of course on the other 3 corners that you haven't done until all 4 are done. And then you're simply going to repeat that process and just build up as many times as you want. You can have as many platforms as you want until you reach the build limit. So it's really up to you at that point. So I've gone ahead and built up the platforms, the same number that we had in the farm you guys saw in the beginning. Again, that is completely up to you how many platforms you want to have. So obviously there will come a point though where you hit what you want to be the roof. And at that point, you're going to want to use slabs. I say slabs because this will prevent anything from spawning on top of your farm, which would of course affect the rates of the farm. So what you can do is we'll just come up here like this. You see there's a 2-block gap for all the perimeter walls, exactly the same. And then we're going to place slabs along here and all along the perimeter as well, and fill in the entire thing. Now this, of course, will not have any problem with placing trapdoors on the bottom like this, which we do need to do in order to have ourselves an area that's just for creepers to spawn again. But this time you do want to go across here as well, so you do want to cover in the entire thing, and then I'll make sure it's nice and dark in here so that creepers can spawn. So I'm going to go ahead and put the roof on and then show you guys what it will look like. So with the roof on, it will look a little bit like this from the outside, and you might have saw there, but we've already got creepers spawning. It is very quick, this. Of course, where I am in my world right now, I have hollowed out a massive area here where no mobs can spawn, so I'm going to get the best rates possible. If you're doing this in your single player or on a server, rates may vary, but you can build this anyway. You can build it above an ocean or something like that. Just be sure to light up any caves below for maximum spawn rates. But anyway, if we break into the farm here like this, if I can, there we go. You'll see here, this is what it looks like inside, as we saw at the beginning of this video, with all the trapdoors along the top like this. No need for them to be, of course, above the area that is for the water channels, though. And that's it. The creepers will then spawn, because it's dark, and only creepers can spawn in that amount of space. They'll fall into the trays, and they will fall to their death, so that's nice and easy. The only other thing to really talk about is the AFK platform. Again, if you download the world link in description, this is all set up for you. But just having a look right here, you'll see this is the 25th block away from the farm. So that's away from this wall right here. So you could go a little bit closer than this, I guess, but really, that's about right for where you want to be. And you can just chill on here. Now, I do recommend that you build your AFK platform out of something like glass, which mobs cannot spawn on. And potentially you might want to put a roof on as well if you're in survival to prevent anything from attacking you. So obviously, up to you how you do your AFK room, just suggesting ideas there. If you want to have a bed in there or whatever. I'm sure you guys know how to do this though. But yeah, that's about it for the setup of the farm. Alright guys, well, that is it for the simple farm. If you want a tutorial on this more complex farm behind, which will get a lot more drops, then the video description has a link to that video if you guys are interested. But if you like this particular video here today, then please do consider liking and subscribing. It really is greatly appreciated. Do remember that there is a world download link in the description, so if you want to download this world and test it out yourself or use it as a template, then you can feel free to do so. But for this episode, that is all that we have time for here today. So as always guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.